too.
So here we are again, just a week since our last installment. And we thought you probably have had way too much of people's married pictures. And you really need a little more politics. That's what we're thinking.
I don't understand what you just said. People's married pictures?
On Facebook, they're saying love over politics. So they're putting out these pictures of married couples to encourage less politics. And I think people are probably getting pretty sick of that.
Yeah.
And they're probably really anxious to get back to politics.
My friends aren't doing that.
Your friends aren't doing that?
No. Because that's news to me.
Yes.
Being a Republican, you must be pretty excited about your nominee.
For the record, as soon as Cruz was out of the race, I put in my resignation from the Republican Party. I am unaffiliated. Don't look at me surprised.
What?
I know I told you that.
What?
Totally unaffiliated.
You're not going to vote for Trump?
Not likely. I'm not voting for Hillary, but I'm not likely to vote for Trump.
What?
Okay, I'm just not going to do it.
You're not going to vote?
I'm not going to vote for Trump. I'm just not going to do it. I can't vote for Trump. I can't vote for Hillary. But there are a lot of Senate seats open. So don't just not vote.
Would you consider doing a third party? There's Gary Johnson, the Libertarian, and
I haven't.
Jill Stein, I think, is the Green Party.
Yeah,
candidate.
I haven't seen enough of either of them to really form an opinion about them running the country. I probably would have voted for Rand Paul on Libertarian. If he would have run for Libertarian, I probably would have gone that route. But the problem with Trump and the problem with Hillary is they're just two sides of the same coin. They're the same person, I think. And, you know, Hillary's saying all the right things for the liberals and Trump saying all the things he thinks the conservatives want to hear, but I just don't believe either of them.
I don't think he's particularly conservative, do you?
Not at all.
I think he's crazy.
Well, that goes without saying, but say it anyway. He's definitely crazy.
He's a TV star.
He's a megalomaniac.
I think that's why he appeals to middle America. Frank Zappa said that politics is the entertainment division of the military-industrial complex. And I think it is, because it's a two-party system, and they try to keep out other parties, third parties. So they cooperate in that sense, that they know there can only be like two sides, that there can only be the two parties, so that they can stay in power in one way or another. And most of them, they get in there and they stay in forever and they make a fortune. They go in poor and they come out loaded.
Yeah, which is weird because they only make $30,000 a year.
How does that happen?
So, I have serious problems with Hillary. I know that you're trying to get to a point of stomaching her. I know nobody cares about Benghazi, but I personally was paying attention while Benghazi was going on, rather than 2 months or 2 years after the fact when everybody's like, why are we talking about this? This is so stupid. Because I remember hearing that the embassy was under attack and then listening for the news and watching the Twitter feeds and wondering what was going to happen and were these guys going to be rescued. And I kind of felt like I followed that. And then as their families started coming in and Hillary's lying to them about this video, it's like anybody that was paying attention at that point in time knows it was a really effed up thing that she did, and a really effed up thing that they did going on television and spouting this certain story. And people look at it now in the context of how many people have died before and since and say it's stupid. It's irrelevant. But it is a serious mark of her character. And, I think I'm not even as upset about the email server and all of that indiscretion as I am about that specific case, because that was a case of an opportunity that they chose politics over human life.
George W. Bush, he put politics before everything. The Iraq War was all about political gain. And so everything when Karl Rove was in office, everything had a political component to it. So that's nothing new. It happened during W's term. It happened during Reagan's term. There are fatalities, and I mean, but Benghazi's been investigated how many times, and they've found no wrongdoing.
That's not true. They didn't find wrongdoing.
They did.
Did you read Gowdy's report? They found a lot of wrongdoing.
Not Gowdy, the guys before it. Gowdy's, that's like, he keeps like trying to bring it up.
Yeah, but the people that did it before had no interest in it turning up anything.
But that was led by Republicans. Why didn't they have an interest in turning up anything?
Republicans? Really? Because they have the R, you think that they were looking for information?
Well, you're undermining the whole government then.
Yeah, I am. I really am. And regardless, you make the assumption that because W did it, because Reagan did it, because anybody did it, that I should be okay with it. And I know that's silly, and you want me to just not get upset, which is, that's a valid point. But it's bad character. And I don't care if every president, except for Washington, be careful what you say about my boy, but if every president since Washington had no integrity, I still expect integrity. And I will probably be disappointed. Is that okay if I can be not okay with politics being so crooked?
That's
I don't have to
people
accept
are crooked.
it. But is it okay?
Human beings are corrupt. Human nature is animalistic.
Is it okay that I, your idealist wife, whom I think you love, just not accept it?
That's fine.
Okay.
I was young once too. I mean, I'm not a huge Hillary fan. But when the Clintons were in office before, it drove me to become a Republican for a while. And but Trump is a maniac.
Right. Yeah.
I've always thought he was a maniac, and that he's running for president. It's frightening. People get so fired up around presidential elections, and then for the rest of the time they just kind of sit around. And what they don't realize is it's not a dictatorship in this country. That we have a pretty solid form of government. It's not perfect. What do they say? It's the worst form of government except for all the other ones. And so it's not perfect. And it's wherever you have humans involved, human beings,
messy.
It's going to be messy. Because, self-interest always wins out. I read this article, and they said that one of the problems with gridlock in Washington is they took away the pork, the incentives for people to get things done,
the
to
bribes,
compromise.
Essentially.
So I say that's
what
it takes. Bring back the pork. At least it was out in the open. Now they have to hide it. But
at least they had it in writing. Well, there is collaboration, which is win-win, right? Where you actually have a principle and you go to it, versus a compromise that's just like lose-lose, essentially. Nobody gets what they want.
That's it. That is a compromise, but it gets stuff done.
Right. But you compromise your principles.
You have to be realistic. I remember that.
Well, just remember, we have Senate seats. So just keep an eye on the Senate seats. And that's at least,
I think you're right. I think people need to be more involved all the time.
Too. I know on a couple of occasions, there was one occasion I was fortunate enough I was able to go to D.C., but when they have rallies, when they have opportunities for you to speak up, if there's something that's happening that you're not liking, it's like if you're at least paying attention, you can make your voice heard. And they have changed their minds about certain things, that they've been working towards something and they realize that people are against it and they worry about losing their seats. And as long as you keep vocal, there is some control over that government. If they think they're going to lose the votes, they're going to try to keep the people happy. But as long as we're like burying our heads in the sand, then nobody cares.
Right.
I think it might be kiss time.
Well, there's one more thing.
Okay.
The only good thing about Donald Trump.
Those words don't follow.
At least it wasn't Ted Cruz.
It is not kiss time. Not today. There is no kiss time. Ever again.
I crossed the line. I'm talking about her boy.
You had to. You just had to go there. Okay, kiss time
The
before
devil
I
made the
kiss time
devil
before I kill you.
the devil made me do it.
Goodbye, y'all. See you in a week.